in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, throwing fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush. In the MMA finest, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies. Into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, slaying blows, taking hits as I command. The art of combat, I'm ready to go. Submission, knockout, that's how I flow. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling with my golden octagon. The stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released. Striking precision, grappling like the golden octagon. The stage we ignite.
And we are live. Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D Rose.
And what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt D Rose. Right over there on that side of the screen. This is the last week of me being in this hellhole, D Rose. I'm going to have some decent Wi-Fi next Monday, dude. I cannot wait to be able to play video games and do the podcast with a decent stream. So we appreciate you guys for sticking through us with these terrible streams this past month. I know they've been bad. I know. I apologize. But thank you for watching anyway. D Rose, this past weekend we had UFC Vegas 111, so we'll talk about that real quick. And then I guess we got some news this week, but really what everyone is excited for, I know I'm excited for it, is this upcoming weekend's UFC 322 Jack Della versus Islam Makhachev. Me and D-Rose are going to give you our breakdown, our preview, and our picks. That'll probably be about 20 minutes after me talking right now. But with that being said, D-Rose, how you been over the past week, my guy?
No, things have been great this way over here. As far as life, work's still been pretty steady, so can't complain there or anything like that. The Cowboys did not play this past week, so they did not lose. So saved me a little bit of stress there, but man, I'll tell you, as far as going on this FanDuel, man, I've told you I've hit this little touchdown jackpot on the Thursday night games the last couple of weeks. Outside of that, I've hit absolutely nothing, man. I've been on a dry streak. I need a breakthrough. I mean, I was able to hit some money on Taco this weekend, and I know we'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, I hit on that this weekend. But outside of that, just taking big swings and coming up short, man. It's been one week after another, man. I got to try to get something going here.
Yeah, I feel you, dude. I didn't win anything this past weekend either, and that's kind of where we'll jump into it. Let's say what's up to the chat real quick, though. We got Dave in here. We got Antoine in here. Of course, Dave and Antoine. What's going on, you guys? We appreciate y'all for stopping by here. I've been hitting D-Rose. Also found a pretty nice Jordan card, too. Yeah, Dave, Dave's been doing well. But we'll jump into our UFC Vegas 111 recap. Yeah, this past weekend, fights were good. I know 3 that stand out because they're the fights that burned me, dude. I was like 9 for 12 like this past weekend, but the fights that burned me was Marco Tulio versus CLD, dude. It's like me and you both like really don't like CLD because he's kind of a dumb fighter. As you saw that whole fight, it's just like he just throws big shots that probably aren't going to hit, but if they do hit, they're probably going to knock you out. And it's like me and you were like chatting during that fight too, and as soon as you sent me, I can feel a spinning back ass coming. He throws a spinning back fist and knocks out Marco Tulio. So it was like, so there was the spinning back. It wasn't a spinning back ass, but he threw a spinning back something, and it hit, dude. So shout out CLD for getting it done over Tulio, busting all my bets, along with 2 other fights that busted all my bets. That was Ricky Simone versus Hani Barcelos, dude. I don't know how did Hickey Simone lose that fight, dude? What happened? Like, he just went in there and got boxed up. But then, kind of looking back on it, I think I picked against Ricky Simone for the longest because he got knocked out by Uriah Faber, like in that one fight. So then, I like finally came around to Ricky Simone, and then, that fight is just kind of makes me like just sick to my stomach. And the last one that really burned me this past weekend was the Jamal Emmers and Hyder Amil not finishing, dude. I had it under 2.5 rounds. Like, come on now. Like, but what was wild is Hyder Amil gassed after the first round. So, all right, like, he don't win. But Jamal Emmers just wrestles him and just lays on top, does absolutely nothing, has no finishing instinct at all. So that one burned me as well. So that's all the fights that burned me on my bets this past weekend. So I didn't win a damn thing because pretty much every bet I had it included one of those things. Aside from me having a submission parlay that had Zach Reese via sub, Joseph Morales via sub, and Chris Padilla via sub. And Chris Padilla did not get the sub. He ended up getting the knockout. So I think I had 4 bets this past week, lost every single one of them, man.
No, some of those are brutal. For me, something that did burn me in one of my bets was the main event. And for me, the way that Gabriel Bonfim came out, to me, he his striking just looked a lot cleaner. And I just thought that him landing that leg kick early on Randy Brown, Gabriel Bonfim, he landed that leg kick about 2 or 3 times within that first couple of sequences in the first round. And immediately from there, Randy Brown is the guy who fights with range, but he's having to then pressure into Gabriel Bonfim because he's trying to make sure he doesn't eat those leg kicks. And then he's just walking into shots and walking into the clinch. For me, I did think that Randy Brown was going to win, but Bonfim's striking looked great. And I don't even know if he shot for a takedown once during the fight and got the clean knockout. And some had said a controversial stoppage, but I picked Randy Brown to win. Of course, if the fight had gone a little bit longer, would I have complained? No, try to let Randy Brown get back into it. But I can understand what Mark Smith had seen before Randy Brown had hit the ground, because literally, like, Randy Brown's face looked like a cartoon character. Like, it was like, dude, like, his jaw was dropped, his eyes are crossed. Like, it's literally the cartoon version of what you would say somebody that's knocked out looked like. So I don't necessarily think that was a bad stoppage, and I thought it was a very good win for Bonfim moving forward, man. So good win for him. Joseph Morales, dude, he's I know Matt Schnell is Matt Schnell, but just
let's pump the brakes a little bit.
yeah. But just as far as like dude, his submissions, his setups, dude, Paul Felder was almost kind of like leading him into answering, oh yeah, when I had him in that like reverse crucifix, I knew he was going to turn over and give me the guillotine. Like, Paul Felder was almost trying to get him to say that after the fight. He's like, man, I can't tell you all my tricks. But no, I thought that was a really good, like, just a smooth setup for him, man. If he's going out there and subbing guys like that and being a problem on the ground, I mean, he can, he could potentially be a problem. Burn me in the pick champ nonetheless. But yeah, shout out Uros Medic, man. It sucks that he did not get a post-fight bonus. I know he shouted out for one. Man, that would have been really awesome to see him gotten one, because he has not gotten one yet. And dude, he is killer be killed, dude. That dude is, I have never seen that dude in a boring fight, and you never will see him in a boring fight. Like, he might not be the best fighter in the world, but dude, when he lands that left hand's money. I don't care what weight class it is, 55, 70. He's getting dudes out of there, man. And as I said, Taco Padilla, I guess more or less, because we called that from the beginning. Do you think that that's Ismail Bonfim's last fight or last fight in the UFC? Because for me personally, I think there's a very good chance it is.
It could be, dude. It honestly wouldn't surprise me because, I mean, who has he beat besides like old Vince Pichel? And then he was able to last into the second round against Terrence McKinney, dude. Like, that's the only two fights he's won, right?
And it seems like for him, the second round is almost he has the Terrence McKinney effect. He just outlasted Terrence McKinney, but it's like when a fight gets into the second round, dude just melts. Like he melted he didn't even make it to the second round against Nazim Sadikov. Got subbed in the second round against BSD. Got kind of manhandled in that fight too. And also in this fight, he didn't look bad in the first round. I will say that, Ismail Bonfim didn't look bad. I thought that Taco was, as the first round ended, I was like, oh yeah, Taco, he's probably going to get the finish in the second. Like you could see Taco building momentum. But, Ismail Bonfim did look good, man. But yeah, I think that's 100%, in my personal opinion, his last fight in the UFC.
And I had actually Taco on the thumbnail because, dude, he didn't get that bonus, dude. Can you believe that? Like he had like that speech about how he was like trying to get his mom like out of the trailer and shit after the fight, and they still didn't give him the bonus, dude. I mean, dude, Bonfim missed the weight 5 pounds. He still took the fight, came in there and finished him in the third round, dude.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's probably one of those. If somebody asked Dana White and like probably the post-fight press conference this weekend, somebody will probably ask him about it, and he'll say, "Oh, well, we took care of him. We took care of him." But I do think just having it right, man. That bonus came through, and very similar to yours, Medic, because I don't believe he got a bonus either, and he asked for a bonus after the fight. And he had said that, the only reason why he wanted a bonus is because he's never gotten a bonus. And he was like, for as many knockouts as I've delivered, like, on my resume, how have I not gotten a knockout of the night performance bonus when I've delivered some spectacular knockouts?
Yeah.
He didn't get it either. It seems like it is pretty common that whenever fighters end up asking for the post-fight bonus is typically when they don't get it. That's what I've kind of taken notice of. And then last thing, really just shout out to CLD. Christian Leroy Duncan. We both been pretty critical of him in the past, but as you mentioned, we were talking about the fight. Kind of as it was going on, and I messaged you that for a reason. I was like, man, I'm not the biggest fan of CLD, but man, he's looking pretty good tonight. Like, he was giving Tulio problems. I mean, Tulio was landing some leg kicks and stuff, but he had a really tough time finding CLD, and then CLD, to be able to set up that spinning back fist. I mean, he kept doing it. So it was almost like, if he hadn't landed it, I was wondering if he was going to gas himself. But all it takes is one, especially with that speed and that power. And for him to hit that follow-up shot with the right hand. And hey, can we stop the fight? I mean, when Marco Tullius falls to the ground from the first shot, the fight is over. You're letting CLD just rain down an extra, just absolute cinder block of a punch to Marco Tullius' head, dude. That was crazy. His head bounced off the canvas like a freaking basketball. It looked nuts seeing that. But yeah, Christian Leroy Duncan, shout out to him because again, been very critical of him, but he's looked a lot better.
Yeah, he for sure looked better this past weekend. So, I guess anything else on the card that you really care about, or not really?
No, not really. Maybe I'm with Dave to say that, Honey Barcelos probably not gonna fade him again, man. At this point, it's like every time, and dude, I know you're a notorious Honey Barcelos hater, dude. You got to come forward at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna stop betting his fights because he's old, and it's like, dude, I'm not gonna bet on the old man.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you just got to give the man the credit where, where it's due, because he has looked good. And his boxing, dude, his uppercut, he kept landing that thing on Ricky Simone. Believe me, I had a cycle bet with Ricky Simone by decision, so I wanted Ricky Simone to win as well. But I thought that third round was actually pretty close. I thought that there could have been an argument for Ricky Simón in that third round, but I guess the judges just favored how clean maybe Barcelos was looking and landing those power shots.
I agree. So, with that being said, let's move on to the bean-eating D-Rose. This past weekend, we had 3 different fights. Only 3 at UFC Vegas 111. The 3 different fights were Haider Emil versus Jamal Emmers, Uros Medic versus Muslim Salikov, and Gabriel Bonfim versus Rude Boy Randy Brown, in which I went Haider Emil. So I got the first one wrong, can't go against Hurricane Haider Emil. So I got that one wrong. I'll accept that fully. But the next 2, Uros Medic and Gabriel Bonfim, I both did pick correctly, and they both won their fight in devastating knockout fashion. So I get 2 of those 3 right. So D Rose this week is eating the bean. So go ahead and play your bean pop, D Rose, and feel free to do what you do.
Yeah, well, since it was such a bad stoppage and it was a controversial stoppage, let me get a blue one out. No, I'm gonna play this one.
I wasn't talking a controversial stoppage. It was a fixed fight. What are you talking about? Fixed fight equals fixed beans, like you every other week.
The ref is in on it. That's the problem. That's why Herzog is under investigation right now. Mark Smith is in on the fixes. It's all gonna come out, man. So these are like so faded at this point. I definitely need new ones, but this is either Wet Dog or Top Banana or Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks. I think that's Tutti Frutti or Stinky Socks though, but
it has a yellow color to me.
Yeah, so that's what's making me think the dog, but
you don't have the peach for the bar.
It doesn't look like that though. I mean, we'll find out what it is, but oh, it's a peach. Nice. I'll take it.
I've seen that one enough. I've seen that one enough because I had to eat that one last week 2 times. 2 times. Yeah. I had to eat 2 pukes.
No, that's a good shot by you. That wasn't peach.
And this week he gets a blue. He's gonna get the toothpaste.
I'm cool with it because again, it was a controversial stoppage in that fight. So
no controversial stoppage. Just go ahead and eat your blue one that way, so you can fucking ideally have only terrible ones left in your box now. You only have bad ones left.
All right.
Now. You have no more blues.
I had a little bit of a streak of getting bad ones, so it's good. I mean, that's the mint, and the worst part is, or the mint toothpaste, whatever it is, it tastes like gum to me at this point. Because I was expecting the absolute worst, so I will 100% take this day.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I will have you know that I think after this box is done, I don't think I'm doing beans anymore, dude. We gotta come up with something else. Like, it's getting old at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, fucking D Rose will drink a hot sauce shot. That's what D Rose is going to do when he loses. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to eat a Snickers bar because we're going to both do things that we love.
The Snickers bar. That seems like something you would do.
No, you like hot sauce, so I guess I'll like eat a handful of like fucking shredded cheese because I put that on everything. So
they're Scoville levels. Scoville levels.
Is it time for it or not? None of that over here, Dave. None of that over here, man. That's only I guess I don't know, Dave. Maybe where you're at, there's a lot of that, but I don't see any of that over here. Anyway, D Rose, with that being said, any kind of news, or I know some fighters got released this past week. They released the Beast Boy, Chris Barnett. How could they? I mean, truthfully, at this point, how
How couldn't they? I mean, the last couple performances were pretty rough. He probably should have gotten finished by Hamdi at some point in that fight. And that was he had his last couple fights were pretty rough. He had that explosive debut against Vellante where he got that spin ahead kick, did the front flip afterwards. He had the cool comeback fight against Jake Collier where he was getting his ass kicked and then he came back and won. Had a couple good moments. Short-lived, but hey, yeah, he is not a heavyweight, and he's definitely not a UFC heavyweight.
That's fair. That's fair. Who are the other ones that got cut? Do you know?
Well, I wanted to get your opinion on your guy coming back, Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner is one that retired. And
yeah,
came
that was a few weeks ago, though. No.
Yeah, I don't remember us actually talking about it.
Yeah, I thought we talked about him coming back against he already has a fight too, no? Like I could have swore that we talked about it.
I don't know if he has a fight.
Yeah. Man, you made me go up and look this up with this no service.
Yeah, that's not advised. Not advised at this point, but and I guess
you're the one that brings it up after we already talked about it. Let's see.
Oh, he does. He has a fight against Barboza. Okay.
Exactly. I swear it was like 3 weeks ago that we talked about that fight.
Okay. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I 100% forgot about that fight actually getting booked.
Yeah. All right.
That's sad. That's sad. Now that I'm sitting here talking it back out, I realize again, pretty sad moment. I don't want to see that for Edson, but
yeah, I'm just glad Jalen Turner has a chance to come back against and actually get a win against person's going to try to wrestle him.
I mean, Edson has wrestled before, so it's
yeah,
not
but dude, Jalen's huge at 155.
He is.
Let's see. Who are the fighters that got cut? Chris Barnett, Kiefer Crosby. Oh, Kurt Holloway got cut as well.
Not super surprising.
That's fair. And
I mean, he's lost his last 2 or 3. So I mean, I figured they weren't super.
Like he's always in a pretty fun fight. Like he's just down to go in there and fucking throw down, man.
Oh, you know what? There was a fight over this past weekend that we actually kind of brushed over, and I didn't get your opinion on because it can lead into, one of the news topics. And it's not big news, but Josh Hokett over the weekend.
Oh yeah. I mean, the dude he was fighting, dude. He only has one fight online that you can find, one actual fight, and it's from a dude that's like in the rafters, and he's recording the big screen in front of him. It's like, and he didn't look. He's a grappler, dude. So it's like, of course he's gonna go in there and get fucking knocked out. Like I had bet fucking Josh Hokett via fucking KO. I just couldn't find the early the KO 1 prop. Like I can only bet round the 1 or KO here. So it was just tied into some other parlay with I think Marco Tulio or Ricky Simone. Or maybe it even had the higher Emil versus Jamal Amherst under 2.5. That it was in one of them.
Yeah.
Probably all three, to be honest.
Well,
but he's. I would say that he's probably going to get some headlines, but probably in the same way that Sean Strickland got headlines. Like he's either going to have people that love him or hate him. And from what I've seen, a lot of people online don't seem to like him too much.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that he's done a couple interviews, and I've seen a couple of people, maybe kind of, maybe he's just a little bit of a shill, but he's actually a pretty cool guy. Once you get to actually know the real him, and is the act, is it a little bit annoying? Sure, but I mean, he is doing his best he can to get his name out there. So. In a UFC world now where everything it feels so like factory based now, where it's all like, oh, I'm coming into this fight, I'm training as hard as I can, I'm doing my best to win, respect my opponent. And we all like that stuff. It doesn't need to be more than what it needs to be at a certain point for hardcore fans. But in order to cross over, man, you do need some sort of buzz, whether it be trash talk or smack talking about he has political rants and stuff like that. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but something that can get headlines and get him attention as he tries to climb the ranks. So good performance from him. But he called out Walter Walker, and I saw Walter Walker was kind of going back and forth with him.
He's got a broken leg right now, though.
Yeah, which he said that once he gets healed up, he'll look to come back and basically smack around Josh Hokett. But I'd just be interested. Would you be interested in that fight?
Yeah, man, I think it'd be fun. I just think probably not the best matchup for Josh Hokett because he's still really early in his fucking career, right? Like, was he have 6 fights now, something like that? That's a big step up. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's a little quick.
Had that many fights?
He's had at least 4 in the UFC. No, 5 in the UFC now. In the UFC. So it's just a little quick, but hey, who knows? Who knows? But Cedric West gets a new contract. Indeed, makes no sense. Very compelling fights at heavyweight. Yeah. Anyway, is Bo Nickel on the undercard? I believe he is. So, Euros, well, that's
doesn't need to be on the pay-per-view, and we'll talk about it. But I know that he, made all them gripes about, I don't want to be on the undercard or whatever. Well, buddy, your level of fighting plus the level of competition that he's gone up against for the most part, it definitely does not deserve main card material.
I agree. So I guess with that being said, we'll go ahead and move to the fights for this upcoming weekend, D-Rose. So I'll go ahead and share your screen and I'll let you control because there's a good chance that at some point this stops working. So with that being said, D-Rose has control and we will go from there.
You want to pull up the whole card?
Yeah. It's you just have to click there. Yeah. Yep. So, or I'll let you read it off. Or do you want me to still read it off?
I can read it off. I know you like to do the nicknames. Cool. I'm not as sharp.
You're good, man.
Sharp with the nicknames, but I'm not as sharp with the nicknames. But UFC 322 this weekend coming up, big pay-per-view. And I mean, honestly, for me, in my opinion, from top to bottom, is a pretty stacked card. Jack Della Maddalena headlines against Islam Makhachev. We got Valentina Shevchenko and Zhang Weili in the co-main event. Pretty dang on good headliners here between the two. We got in the featured bout Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. That should be a really good fight at welterweight, which could potentially decide one of the next title challengers. We got Leon Rocky Edwards versus Carlos Prates, everybody's favorite smoker. Benil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis. Big matchup in lightweight there. Bo Nickel versus Adolfo Vieira. Interested to see how Bo Nickel looks bouncing back from the loss. Roman Kapilov versus Gregory Hobocop Rodriguez. Hobocop. Aaron Blanchfield versus Tracy Cortez in a big matchup at women's 125. We got the return of Malcolm Wellmaker, who we were a little bit worried, and Malcolm Wellmaker actually said himself that he was worried that he wasn't going to get an opponent. But Cody Hatton stepping in on short notice here, taking the fight. Should be a good fight there. Gerald Mearshart versus Kyle Dawkins. We got Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal versus Pat Sabatini. Chepe is one of my dudes. We got.
Oh no. Oh. I don't know if I'm frozen or if D-Rose is frozen. Let's see what happens. Let's see. Dave, I don't know if that's me frozen or D-Rose frozen. Can y'all let me know in the chat? Am I frozen? Is D-Rose frozen? Oh man, I hate this internet, y'all. Let's see. Okay, D
It's me.
Rose is frozen. Okay, I was like, "Fuck, dude."
Man, I'm good.
All
Yeah.
right, so
Of course, I've been on a pretty good streak. Up not happening to me, but yep,
yeah,
there we go. Work, but we back. We back.
yeah. I can't click anything, D Rose, so I feel like I'm next. I'm gonna go ahead and just exit this, and I'll let you, and I'll rejoin. I'll rejoin on my phone, and I'll step outside because I can already see because
Okay.
I'm
Right.
yeah, I'm not able to click the comments anymore now. So, yeah, all right. So give me just a second, and I'll be right back. But feel free to get to talking. We're actually on the first one. I'll go ahead and lay it out like this. I like Slava Claus here, and I like Slava Claus to knock out Camillo, and I think what do I have it on Tapology? I think I have him KO round 2, if I'm going to be honest. And the reason I think that way is because Camillo's still rather young, and it seems like he wants to strike. And anyone that went in there and just willingly struck with Slava Claus has not had the best time. The only person that was able to, stand and get to the end was Nazim Sadikov, and that shit ended up going to a draw. So it's
Hamad Yontop, but Hamad Yontop's a different animal though.
Like he's just tough though. Like that's him. Hoofy didn't even fucking knock him out. Like after lighting him up all 3 rounds. So I think my pick for this fight. I know it's Slava. I don't know exactly what I picked him to do. That I'm waiting on this shit to load. Come on. There we go. I picked Slava via second round KO. And I just think there's just a little bit too much space in between levels on the feet in this fight. So I'm going Slava round 2 KO. And Antoine, I think this is probably one of the best. Oh, there it goes. It actually clicked on it. Took a few seconds. Probably one of the best pay-per-views we've had in a long time, like top to bottom, dude. Like prelims all the way up to the main card. Every single fight on this card, I'm like, hell yeah. But, it's the MSG card, so they kind of got to show out for this one.
Yeah, they always go big for this one, but I mean, level of 9 out of 10. I mean, let's be honest. The co-main event might be a little slow, so but I'd say a strong 9 for sure. I mean, 10 is like perfect. Like a 10 has to be, from top to bottom. A fight that I must see, and I'm definitely excited about the co-main event. But knowing how potentially the pace of the fight could go, I had to scale back to at least a 9, but I'll still be a little bit fair on there. And then coming in for the first fight of the night, Slava Claus, coming in as the slight dog here. He is right now sitting on FanDuel plus 126. Matias Cameo is sitting at the minus 162 favorite. I'm actually with Matt on this one. I actually do agree. I got Borshev. For me, I thought that Mateus Camillo, he was getting lit up a little bit by Gabe Green on the feet, and he was getting out grappled by Gabe Green, who I don't even know necessarily that Gabe Green is going in there to wrestle, but almost kind of fell into it and controlled Camillo pretty easy on his way to the submission. I do think that Borshev, he's got pretty decent takedown defense, but it's when he gets to the ground is when it's a problem, and he can't necessarily get back up. And for the Terrence McKinney fight, I mean, Terrence McKinney literally just jumped him into that guillotine very quickly. I don't know if Mateus Camillo necessarily has that type of ability. I mean, I know he was known as a little bit of a grappler, and Matt's right. He tried to display a little bit more of his striking as he came along, but I think Slava Claus should be able to get it done here. I'm going to go round 1 KO for Slava Claus, but give me a Slava Claus here.
Yeah, D Rose picking Slava. I don't know if, dude, you're not a Slava picker, huh?
No, but I actually picked him in the last fight against Terrence McKinney, and I was pretty high on the McKinney fight smoke. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of sitting here going over in my head about now. But man, as I said, I didn't think Mia looked too great in his last fight. So
Yeah, that actually kind of surprised me. But hell yeah, me and D-Rose both on Slava via knockout. Him a little bit earlier than me though. So yeah, you want to break down the next fight? I mean,
Yeah,
or you really don't have to. We're probably gonna go Susur Kaya round.
yeah. Well, we can still do a quick little breakdown. We got Bisonger Hunter Suzurkayev versus Eric Makhachev. Bisonger Suzurkayev, excuse me, coming in at 10-0. Of course, winning his last 5 fights. He's 24 years old, fighting out of Chechnya. 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Eric Makhachev is 10-3. He's won 4 out of his last 5. Surprising. I don't know why. Fighting out of Glendale, Arizona, 35 years old. 6 foot tall with a 77-inch reach. Bisonger coming in as a pretty sizable favorite too on FanDuel right now. Suzurkayev minus 1100 and Eric Makhachev plus 600.
That's all right. I mean, we ain't really gotta say much there. I think I want Susur Kaya round one knockout. How about you?
I am also on Suzurkayev. I'm going to go submission though. I think
Okay.
So I think in his last fight against Eric Nolan, he was kind of I think he was playing with his food a little bit in that fight and almost got caught up in honestly, and I didn't even mention how tough Eric Nolan was. I think he's a pretty good boxer overall. Cody Brundage was able to wrestle Eric Makhachev pretty easy in his fight. I think if Cody Brundage can do that, Suzurkayev definitely has a way to do that. He has made it pretty clear that he wants to try to look a little bit cleaner in this fight than he did in the Eric Nolan fight. So I think he's going to try to go out here and really make a statement, not mess around, go out here and get the job done. I think it takes him a second to get the position in round 1. So let's go. I'm going to go rear naked choke specifically, round 2.
All right. Me and D Rose both on Susur Kaya. So you say round 2 sub, I'm on round 1 knockout. Fair enough.
But we both have a finish nonetheless.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Also, D Rose, your dog of the week hit last week. Yeah, we kind of forgot to talk about that, right? Shout out,
yeah. I mean,
shout out Taco
again.
for hitting D Rose's dog of the week.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, it was written as the great poet Nas would say. It was written. We already kind of saw that coming. Don't need to brag on it too much because we're gonna bring the dog of the week back around again this week, and we can try to get y'all a little bit of money on betting on these dogs here. But we'll move up to the next fight here with Angela Overkill Hill versus Fatima the Archangel Klein. Angela Hill, she is 18-15, winning 3 out of her last 5 fights. She is 40 years old, surprisingly, man. Because she has been around forever, but it's just crazy to see that 4-0 beside her name. 5'3" at a 64.5-inch reach. Fatima Klein has came in, or as I like to call her, Fatima Tilva. She is 8-1. Her one loss in her career coming to Jasmine Jasovicius, up a weight class on short notice. She is 25 years old. Coming in at 5'6" with a 67-inch reach. She is a pretty decent favorite here as well. Fatima Klein is a minus 520 favorite, and you got Angela Overkill Hill at plus 350.
Fair enough. Yeah, man, I just think Angie's never been knocked out, right? I don't think, if I'm gonna be honest, the way Fatima Klein has fought in her last few fights is she looked like she has fallen in love with striking in her hands, like improving there. So I think it could be competitive on the feet, but I think Fatima is going to end up going to the grappling at some point, and that's where Angie just struggles at. But I don't think she finishes Angie. I'm going to go Fatima Klein via decision here. How about you, man?
Yeah, and you are correct that Angela Hill, she has been subbed twice, but she has not been knocked out. So, she's super tough. 40 years old, and some of these fights, I know she lost her last fight, but in that Caitlin Souza fight, dude, she looked pretty dang on good in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that Luana Pinheiro fight, she put it on Luana Pinheiro, beat Denise Gomes as well. So she's had some good performances just within her last few fights, but she has not been as active as she used to be. And I do think that's something that can catch up to her over time. And I think Fatima Klein is starting to get a little bit of her swagger to herself, getting a little bit more established in the UFC. And I do agree with you that I do think she's going to try to take the fight to the ground at a certain point in time, because that is going to be the easiest path to victory. Angela Hill, not that it's the easiest time to take her down, but that is going to be her best path to victory, because if you try to get in there in a dogfight with Angela Hill, it's not going to work out for you. But I think the cleaner striker of the two is Klein, and I think she'll try to work some wrestling in there. So give me Fatima Klein by decision.
Mandy Rose on the same thing.
Again.
Yes, sir.
We keep agreeing here. I don't know how many and honestly, looking up and down the card, I don't know how many picks but we'll see. But going into the next fight, this is one that I'm excited about. My guy here, Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal taking on Pat Sabatini. Chepe Mariscal is 18-6, winning his last 5, won all of his fights in the UFC so far. 33 years old. 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. You got Pat Sabatini, who's 20-5. He's won 3 out of his last 5. Gets some pretty tough competition as well. I will have to say that. 35 years old, coming in at 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Pat Sabatini is the small favorite right now. He is minus 136. The comeback on Chepe Mariscal plus 106.
Fair enough. If I was to think Pat Sabatini could win this fight, which I do think he has chances, there's no way in hell that I could bet it, but just because how chinny he is, dude. I feel like he gets a hit and he just starts to wobble and he tries to run away and it just looks bad, dude. So I think here's truly how I see this fight going. I think Pat Sabatini is going to get some takedowns, and I think Chepe is going to give up his back and try to get up. And if you're giving Pat Sabatini your back, it's not the best idea in the world. However, I do think Chepe, he's filled out. Like, he looks thick at 145. And I think maybe he has the anti-grappling in D Rose. As long as he does not give up his back to Pat Sabatini, I think Chepe wins this fight via decision. But God, man, I have it bet and I'm already worried. I got Chepe via decision at, like, let me tell you what it is. It's a 4-leg parlay. Chepe via decision at plus 280. I made that like 2 days ago now. So yeah, dude, I'm worried about it. I am going Chepe via decision though. And I think if he wins this fight, it's probably via decision.
Yeah. Is that your official pick? I was sounding a
Yeah.
little worried about it.
Yeah, Chepe via decision for me. I haven't
Yeah,
bet, so it is what it is.
You got to ride with it at this point, man. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I think this is a competitive fight. So I don't know if you know, but they have fought before. I have not actually watched their first fight, but it was down to a split decision, and Chepe actually won that fight. For me, the way this fight goes, and it's pretty plain and simple. Pat Sabatini gets it down to the ground like he was able to control Joe Anderson Brito. He gets the win. If this fight's on the feet, Pat Sabatini has nothing to offer for Chepe. For me, I just think that Chepe's just lack of a better term, he's just got that dog in him, man. He just comes in, he's gritty. The dude just has no quit in him. I mean, he practices against Justin Gaethje and guys like that. He's fought some good competition. Ricardo Ramos.
Even before the UFC.
Before the UFC, he fought Joe Anderson Brito and Pat Sabatini, and he's fought some really, really tough guys. He's had some really good competition. And I think even having the win over Pat Sabatini is going to give him a mental edge as well, to know that he can get it done against a guy like Pat Sabatini. Man, Chepe and Josh Van have very similar styles, in my opinion. I think Chepe is a little bit more wrestling heavy, though. But as I always say, and the famous thing the GSP said as well, water is wet, fire is hot. Chepe Mariscal round 3 or decision, man. That's gonna be. I'm not gonna bet it super heavy this week, but definitely gonna be playing that this week.
I got you. Sounds like a little preview. It might be your dog of the week as well. Yeah.
Uh, could be, could be.
All right. Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, so we'll move up to the next fight here. We got Gerald GM3 Mearshart versus I'm not calling him that. I'm just calling him Kyle Dawkins because that's a
The Darth
terrible nickname.
Knight.
Yeah, that's a terrible nickname. But GM3 is coming in 37-20. This dude has a lot of fights. He has lost 3 out of his last 5. 37 years old, 6'1" with a 77.5-inch reach. And then we got the Kyle Dawkins, 16-4, winning his last 5 fights after getting cut from the UFC, hitting the regional scene, getting a few wins under his belt. Now made his way back to the UFC and is looking good. 32 years old with a 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. Kyle Dawkins is still the favorite here as I'm getting the line pulled up now. Kyle Dawkins is -400, and we got Gerald Mearshart, who is at +285 right now.
God, I'm not betting this fight, dude. I can't bet GM3 2-3 sub. I'm not betting this fight, man. My official pick for the fight will be Kyle Dawkins round 2 knockout, just because GM3, dude. He at this point he's just old, man. Like, and dude, Kyle Dawkins not. I woke up at like 4, 5, 6 in the morning to watch Kyle Dawkins knock Michel Pereira out cold, dude. 2 things that have never happened. Michel Pereira had never been even knocked down in the UFC. And then Kyle Dawkins just fucking snoozes him. And then fucking Kyle Dawkins has never even remotely hurt anyone in the UFC. And it was just, dude, that I can't. I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch that, dude. I was so pissed off the rest of the day. So for me, Kyle Dawkins round 2 knockout, but I ain't betting this shit.
Yeah, I completely understand. I highly doubt I take anything on this either, but I will say Kyle Dawkins by KO is +195 right now. If you're thinking about it on FanDuel at least, but
Nope,
just
no
anybody
shot.
out there. I know you. Yeah, I know you can't, but just anybody out there, if you're thinking of a cycle, that's not a
I
bad
can bet
play
him by
here.
knockout. I just refuse to. I'm not.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. But for me, he's been getting finished, and that for me, the Olasheshek fight was really the one where Olasheshek, I've been a fan of him. I love his boxing, but pretty I'm not gonna say a favorable matchup, but that's a matchup where Gerald Mearshart, if he's still got any juice left in the tank, he should at least be competitive in
Yeah.
that fight. And
And
he
he
just got
just looks
absolutely
slow. He just looks
dude, looks
slow,
slow.
dude.
I mean, dude, everybody after the fight was asking Dana White, like, dude, he should retire, right? And then Dana's like, I mean, no, he shouldn't. But I think a lot of the fans, that's just a lot of the sentiment that they're going to carry now. GM3, I think his chin's gone at this point. Taking a lot of damage over the years. Kyle Dawkins is looking sharper. I think even before Kyle Dawkins fought Michel Pereira, I would have chosen Kyle Dawkins to beat Gerald Mearshart by knockout, and it's just because of the way Gerald Mearshart has looked, not anything to do with how good Kyle Dawkins has looked. But yeah, I'm going Kyle Dawkins round 1 KO.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then we'll move up the card here. We got a fan favorite coming in here. Malcolm.
And the odds for
Machine
this are
Wellmaker.
close, huh?
Yeah. Odds are very close for this fight. I'm surprised, but we'll get in the. We got Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker versus Cody Haddon. Malcolm Wellmaker is 10-0, 31 years old, coming in at 136 pounds, 5'10" with a 71.5-inch reach. We got Cody Haddon, who is 8-1, 27 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. We do have Malcolm Wellmaker as the slight favorite right now on FanDuel. We got -164, so not slight, but pretty small favorite considering where his lines have been. And then the comeback on Cody Haddon is +128 right now.
Yes, sir. And I think it goes the same way the Malcolm Wellmaker's fights have gone, dude. If I could bet the round combos, I would go round 1 or 2 KO for Malcolm Wellmaker because I think it probably happens the end of round 1, early round 2, dude. Coming out of the Australian scene, I just don't think that Cody Haddon has, been hit with the thunderous power that while that Malcolm Wellmaker carries in his hands, dude. So with that being said, I'll go late round 1 KO for Malcolm Wellmaker here.
Yeah. Um, I mean, you pretty much spin it the way that I see it. I mean, Cody Haddon's lone loss is to Steve Erceg, and Steve Erceg is a flyweight. I know that Malcolm Wellmaker might not be the biggest dude, but he is going to have a pretty decent size advantage and reach advantage over Cody Haddon. And Cody Haddon's a pretty decent striker, but he has to get inside the workers boxing. Where one thing that I have not been critical of Wellmaker, but just kind of notice in his game a little bit is that he does look for that picture perfect counter shot a little too much at times. But I think with Cody Haddon's style, the way that he has to box and get inside, I think he can set it up perfectly for Malcolm Wellmaker to get the round 1 KO. So give me a Wellmaker round 1 KO.
All right, me and D Rose on the same thing there. This next one. Are we gonna pick
Yeah.
different here? Yeah, I almost feel like you already know. You already know who I'm gonna pick here.
Yeah, but this one is a very good fight. Well contested
It's
fight.
a rematch. It's a rematch.
A rematch. Yeah. A rematch. We got Blanchfield versus Cortez 2.
Two?
So Aaron Blanchfield is 13-2, winning 4 out of her last 5. She is coming in at 26 years old. Still 26, man. That seems crazy. 5'4" with a 68-inch reach. We got Tracy Cortez. She is 12-2, winning 4 out of her last 5 as well. 31 years old. She is coming in at 5'5" with a 65.5-inch reach. We do have Aaron Blanchfield is a pretty decent favorite right now. She is minus 260, where Tracy Cortez is plus 196.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, man. Close fight. Do you have an over under here? What's the over 2.5?
I would imagine that it would be like probably minus 900 or so if I had to guess. No, the over 2.5 is minus 460. So
Yeah,
about halfway there. About halfway there.
I would guess about minus 500, so that's about right. Yeah, man, tough fight to call because, as you said, this is a rematch. Both ladies are very good, man. I did meet Tracy Cortez. I stood in line for multiple hours to meet her, and that was an experience. On the other hand, I have been a notorious hater of Aaron Blanchfield. I literally don't think I ever pick her to win a fight. I pick her to lose every single fight that that she fights because I don't. She's winning in these Brian Ortega-esque fights. Like she's clearly losing the fight and will pull a sub out of nowhere. I think her striking defense is dog shit. The issue is she's game. She's willing to throw down. She's willing to push her limits, go in there and get hit to win the fight. She's gonna do anything she can to win the fight. As where Tracy Cortez is more of a fight manager. I think she wants to stay at distance the whole fight, or be in control the whole fight. When it starts going the opposite way, it's kind of where we've seen, Tracy not look the best. But going back to the Rose versus Tracy fight, I thought she looked decent in those later rounds as well, dude. This isn't a 5-round fight, so whoever wins 2 rounds here, dude, they win the fight. I think it should be about minus 180 Aaron Blanchfield, maybe plus 150 Cortez. And because Tracy Cortez is this big of a dog, dude, give me the dog. Give me Tracy Cortez to win this fight again against Aaron Blanchfield via decision. How about you, man?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. This is actually a tough fight to call, and having that knowledge in the back of my mind, knowing that Tracy Cortez beat her before, beat Aaron Blanchfield, it brings even that much more intrigue. Considering that, I mean, it was some years ago, but they're still both relatively young themselves.
It was the
careers.
fight that got Tracy onto the Contender Series, I believe.
Right. So yeah, I mean something that's still, relatively recent. But some time has passed since those fights have came, and I would say both have gotten some pretty good experience in that time. And I don't want to MMA math this thing, but you can look back at Tracy Cortez's performance against Rose, and Rose was able to, really go in there and dominate the, kind of like the distance management in that fight. And really wherever Rose wanted the turns of the fight to go, that was really where it went versus, and Rose brought a very tough fight to Aaron Blanchfield. And I picked Rose going into that fight. But I would say that even because there was a moment, I think it was in the second round where, Rose is starting to jab up Aaron Blanchfield. And I'm like, oh, man, there she goes. Rose is cooking. And then, and I liked how you noted it as well. Aaron Blanchfield does have a little bit more of that grittiness, willing to bite down on the mouthpiece to make sure that she can get the fight on her terms. Whether it be on the ground, whether it be against the fence, whatever the case may be, she is looking to get the fight to where she knows she's going to dominate position and win. Where I think that, Tracy Cortez could be a little bit submissive in that sense, where, she might be a little bit more willing to not say fold, but hey, she might be willing to change game plans where Aaron Blanchfield is stubborn. And I think that stubbornness is what really can get the job done here. I think they're both very similar fighters. Tracy Cortez is the cleaner striker of the two. I think Aaron Blanchfield is the better grappler, but I think just that grittiness from Aaron Blanchfield, I think she's going to be able to get the job done. Give me Aaron Blanchfield by decision here, what I think will probably be a close fight, and I would not be surprised. I'd like to see maybe what going to split decision would be, because I think there's a very good chance in that.
That might be the fight for the big champ this week, T-Rose.
Yeah, crazy enough. You're right. And believe me, I am scared.
But, all right, next one. Only got 10% left. We gotta step on the gas, T-Rose.
Okay. Yep. Roman Kapilov versus Gregory Rodriguez. We got Roman Kapilov coming in, winning 3 out of his last 5. 34 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. Got Robocop Rodriguez, 17-6, winning 4 out of his last 5. 33 years old, 6'3 with a 75-inch reach. We got Robocop coming in as the small favorite here. Robocop is -188. Roman Kapilov is +146.
Nice. All right, I got this plugged up. So if I change sounds, it's because it connected to my truck mic.
Like shit, but yeah, man, I'm gonna keep it short here. I think Robocop's got more fight in him. Roman Kapilov kind of wants this to be like a pretty fight, and Robocop's in there willing to get gritty, dude. Fucking come in there, clinch up with you, drag you to the ground, land some ground and pound. And I don't think Roman is a fan of being on the ground. I think Roman might win a round though, but I think by round 2, Robocop kind of starts to take over, and we see Robocop win round 2 and 3, and we see Robocop either late finish or Robocop via decision. So just to be safe, give me Robocop via decision here. How about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a well-matched fight between the two. I think, this could be a striker's delight, but I mean, for me personally, there's a path to victory here for Gregory Rodriguez, and to me, that's the grappling. And people have talked about how well he did in jiu-jitsu and how great his jiu-jitsu career was before even coming over into the UFC. So, and we have seen Roman Kapilov kind of get susceptible to getting taken down from time to time in the past as well. So, I think Gregory Rodriguez has the power because, Paulo Costa was able to hurt Roman Kapilov a couple times in that last fight. I think Gregory Rodriguez certainly has the capability of doing that. And I think that Gregory Rodriguez is going to be the bigger guy, in all likelihood, the stronger guy. And I think the more skilled guy on the ground. Give me Gregory Rodriguez. I don't even know if he's got a submission in UFC. But I think he's going to look to get the fight down to the ground and to try to put on an impressive performance. Give me round 2 sub for.
I know that I've bet him a lot. I know that I've bet him a lot by sub, and he has not. He has not gotten it when I bet him.
Yeah. It is. Am I going to bet that fight? No, but I like the prediction nonetheless. So. But we'll move up to the next fight here. We got Bo Nickel versus Rodolfo Vieira. That's your guy, Matt. Bo Nickel coming in at 7-1, winning 4 out of his last 5. He's 29 years old, standing at 6'1" with a 76-inch reach. we got Rodolfo, the black belt hunter Vieira, coming in winning 3 out of his last 5. 36 years old, with standing at 6 foot with a 73-inch reach. Bo Nickel, big favorite in a lot of his last few fights. Still the favorite, but not big as he normally is. Minus 245 right now. The comeback on Rodolfo Vieira is plus 186.
That's fair. I'm going to be short here again just because, man, Bo Nickel lost his last fight, so he's going to come in here and be safe as possible. And American wrestling, especially at a super high level, it just nullifies like pretty much all of jiu-jitsu. So I think Bo just comes in here, takes down Rodolfo Vieira, and just stifles all of his attacks off of his back. And even if this is on the feet, dude, as sad as it is to say, I think Bo has better striking than Rodolfo Vieira because of what you have your mouse hovered over right now. You get outboxed by Andre Petrovsky, dude. You're not winning anything on the feet. So I'm gonna go Bo via decision here. How about you, man?
Yeah, no, that's that is all I really needed to hover over just to solidify that point. I think Bo Nickel is the best striker? No, but I think he get a similar performance here to that Paul Craig fight. I don't think it looks much better, but I just think he ends up being good enough to beat Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo Vieira just does not use his boxing, or it really just doesn't have any boxing. I guess I would just have to say, doesn't really have that strong of boxing to hurt Bo Nickel, and I think that's where you really need to get the job done. And although Rodolfo Vieira is great in jiu-jitsu, not really known for being the guy off of his back. And I'm with you. If there's wrestling exchanges, as long as Bo Nickel has top position, I think he's good, and I think he gets it done by decision.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and moving up to the next fight here, it is Benny Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis, the God of War, Benoit Saint Denis, that is. And we got Benny Dariush. He is 23-6-1, winning 3 out of his last 5. 36 years old, coming in at 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. BSD is coming in at 15-3, winning 3 out of his last 5. 29 years old, still seems pretty young in my opinion. Crazy, I just felt like he was older. Coming in at 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. To my surprise, Benoit Saint Denis is a pretty decent favorite right now, minus 215. The comeback on Benil Dariush is plus 164.
I guess that's not too surprising to me. If Benoit was a minus 300 favorite here, I don't think it would surprise me. Just because of the way that Benny has, lost his last few, and even in the Renato Moicano fight, got fucking dropped, dude. BSD just throws those fucking kicks, man, and if he throws a few to the body, has fucking, Benny D starting to cover up and then chucks one up at his noggin, dude, I think this fight's going to be over. So just because of how Benny D's looked, I'm going to go BSD round 1 head kick here, man.
I will say this is one that I have been going back and forth with. This is a tough fight to pick, and I was pretty down on both of these fighters going into their last fight. I was pretty down on Hoofy I was pretty down on BSD going into the Hoofy fight, and I was pretty bad on Benny D going into that Moicano fight, and they both came in and looked very impressive in their own ways. Benil Dariush got dropped in that first round, and then was just really able to use his wrestling and veteran savvy to take out Moicano there in those last 2 rounds. And for BSD, just made Hoofy just look like he didn't belong at all. So great performances from both in their last fight. But the way that I see this fight break down is BSD has power. He has great power kicks. I think where Benil really gets caught up as somebody who's like a good boxer and somebody who could really land like big shots and smooth, and not smooth boxing combinations, but in somewhat of a boxing combination style, to be able to put the hard hands on him. BSD does have good power, but I don't necessarily relate him to having punching power. So I do think that's going to be something that Benny is going to be able to avoid his big hooks. And the takedown defense. Benny D has great takedown defense, and if you're going to go down to the ground, dude, that's going to play in his favor because he's going to want to go down to the ground. And to me, I can see this fight playing out very similar to how the Mateusz Gamrot and Beneil Dariush fight played out. I think competitive fight, some strikes being landed, but BSD, maybe having some success with just not being able to overcome the veteran savvy of Beneil Dariush here. So give me Benny D here, man, and I'm going to go by decision here. The B's and D's and both their names are kind of mixing me up a little bit, so I'm having to get a little tongue twister here. But yeah, B's and D's. We ain't talking about baby daddies, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll go Beneil Dariush by decision here, and we'll
second different fight of the night.
Yeah, that is our second different fight as well. So man, we'll see how the rest of it plays out here on the card. But moving up, we got Leon Edwards versus Carlos Prates. This is the fight that I think a lot of people are excited for. We got Leon Rocky Edwards coming in, winning 3 out of his last 5, but losing his last 2, losing to Bilal and Sean Brady in pretty dominant fashions in both. Coming in at 34 years old, 6'2" with a 74-inch reach. We got Carlos Prates winning 4 out of his last 5. That lone loss coming to Ian Machado Gary. He is coming in at 6'1" with a 78-inch reach. And we got Carlos Prates coming in at a pretty decent favorite, which is no surprise here. Carlos Prates is minus 200. Leon Edwards is plus 154.
Yeah. For this one, so Leon Edwards isn't going to be able to come in here and do his jab, leg kick, run away, because Carlos Prates is going to be in his face throwing heat, dude. I think it could be kind of boring in the first round, but I think by midway round 2, Carlos Prates starts to turn it up, and I think sometime in round 3-ish, Carlos Prates smokes him. Round 3 knockout, Carlos Prates, dude.
Round 3, that's interesting. Yeah, this fight, man, I'm not gonna lie, this is really tough for me to pick. And honestly, just because Leon hasn't been knocked out, and I do think that's Prates' best path to victory. But of course, I said the same thing going into the Leach fight, and Carlos Prates made that knockout look so easy. So yeah, definitely made me look stupid. But for different reasons, though. Leon Edwards is a measured fighter, good striking defense. He knows when to take chances. He's not the most exciting fighter, but very well calculated, sharp striker, knows how to set his stuff up. Where Carlos Prates is, he's a little bit more calculated in his setups as well. But the guy, he almost kind of has a similar to like Alex Pereira type vibe to him, when he's, kind of walking his opponents down. His arms are kind of just flailing out. His hands aren't up. He keeps them down just so where he can keep them coming at such different angles. He's fun to watch, and he's a menacing fighter. For me, man, I've actually still been going back and forth with this fight, even down to today. We have seen Leon rock before. I think even in moments in that
Nate Diaz.
Fight, yeah, he got rocked by Nate Diaz, and there were moments in that fight against Bilal where Bilal was actually, knuckling him up a little bit as well, especially in that second round. Like Bilal,
dude, Sean Brady was knuckling him up with a 3-piece combo over and over.
Yeah, of course he was worried about the takedowns in those last 2 fights that we referenced as well, versus where Carlos Prates is only going to come in and strike. But even with a high guard or something like that, you let one of those gloves connect from Carlos Prates, man, he's going to put you out. And I think he's just going to find that button eventually on Leon Edwards. I'm going to go round 2 KO here for Carlos Prates. Big stage here, but I think he's big enough for the challenge. I think that Ian Machado Gary loss was kind of like a good, not a good loss, but if there's ever a good loss to have, he had success in that fight, but still lost, and kind of learned on what he needed to build on. And having that performance against Jeff Neal, I think is a big confidence booster going forward for him. So give me Prates by KO round 2. And we got the feature fight. Yep, we're on me and you on the same side there, and we're moving up to the featured fight of the night. I think this one could potentially have a lot of stakes in the welterweight division. We got Sean Brady coming in 18-1, winning 4 out of his last 5. The lone loss coming to Bilal Muhammad. He is coming in at 5'10" with a 72.5-inch reach. Then you got Michael Morales on the other side, who is 18-0, 26 years old, which is still crazy to think that he's 26. That's nuts. Coming in at 6 foot with a 79-inch reach. And this fight has been pretty close all week. I've been seeing the bet lines going back and forth, but Sean Brady has held as the favorite at -148. And then the comeback on Michael Morales right now is +116.
Yeah, man. Hard fight to call, man, because I don't want to say 2 undefeated prospects, but 2 basically undefeated prospects here. You know, Sean Brady's lost to Bilal, but that was, before Bilal was the champion, so he was on his run there. So, I'm just gonna put it like this: I'm gonna pick Sean Brady to win this fight, but it's only because of I think in Michael Morales' last 3 or 4 fights, dude, I've seen him be taken down by like Adam Fugit and fucking who else did he fight, dude? That like fucking took him down. Like, so he was on his back, dude, and I feel like Gilbert Burns fucking took him down more than a few times, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if Sean Brady gets on top of you with you on your back, dude, the round is ending or the fight is ending, dude. And so I think I'm going to go Sean Brady via decision here because maybe Michael Morales has trained enough, defending subs, to stay safe. So I'm going to go Sean Brady via decision, but I think Sean Brady is the rightful favorite here.
Yeah, for me, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been going back and forth on this fight, and I think both these guys, they're tough, similar skill sets. I know Michael Morales is a little bit more of the boxing heavy, where Sean Brady has more of the takedowns and subs, but I know both can work in each other's strengths as well. Sean Brady, as you said, he was knuckling up Leon in his last fight, and we've seen Michael Morales take guys down to the ground, and he took down Neil Magny and ground and pounded him in the first round. So yeah, we've seen both guys implement both styles of their game. I just got to think this size advantage plays at a certain point, right? Like, I mean, the height advantage isn't going to be necessarily so much, but that reach, man, that's going to be really, really hard for Sean Brady to close that gap, in my opinion. And 5'10" sounds very flattering for Sean Brady because Calvin Gastelum was like a little bit taller than him going into their fight when they fought last. So yeah, I think that height difference is going to be a little bit more than that. I think when they face off, and I think I think once the face off happens, I think I'll feel a little bit better about the fight. But I'm going Morales by decision. Do I feel great about that? No, because I can see Sean Brady getting it done. But I just got to think that size advantage plays in at a certain point to benefit Michael Morales here in a tough fight.
Well, we got at least 3 different picks, D-Rose.
Yeah, we got 3. So, but we'll move up here to the co-main event. One that, again, I've stated that if this fight goes the way that I think it can, it might not be the most exciting. Honestly, either way, it might not be the most exciting. But we got Valentina Shevchenko taking on Magnum Zhongwei Li. Valentina Shevchenko has won 3 out of her last 5, having 1 draw and 1 loss in there to Alexa Grasso as well. 37 years old, coming in at 5'5" with a 65.5-inch reach. We got Magnum Zhongwei Li winning her last 5 fights, coming in at 26-3, 36 years old. 5'4" with a 63-inch reach. And Valentina has held pretty strongly as a favorite here. Not the biggest favorite, but has held strongly throughout the week. She's -128, and the comeback on Zhongwei Li is at +100.
It's fair. D-Rose, I know over the past few fights, I believe that I have
admitted or not admitted, I've picked against Valentina, dude, and it's just because, dude, I can say the past 6 years, dude, she does nothing. She stands in the middle of the octagon and just fucking hops there. Hands up and just fucking hops there, dude. It's so irritating to watch, dude. And then after she wins, she does this fucking dance like, yeah, what an impressive performance. Dude, I cannot stand the way Valentina fights now, dude. And if there's one person that I do love the way they fight, it is Magnum Zhang Li. Goes in there, balls to the wall. If she finds a weakness on you, she goes back to it over and over and over and exploits it over and over. And I think, D-Rose, that we see our second ever double champion crowned this weekend. Give me Magnum Zhang Li to win this fight via decision, and we get and new double champion, or I guess the second ever double champion for a woman, and that's going to be Magnum Zhang Li.
Well, I guess not technically double champ because she did have to vacate her.
You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
The 2-weight division champ. And it's a well matched fight. And for me, I think Wei Li. I like the point that you had made about she kind of takes advantage of her opponent's weakness. Because to me, Wei Li doesn't have a weakness, and I think she's well rounded everywhere. If somebody's deficient in the striking, she can strike with them. And then if somebody's deficient in the grappling, she can grapple with them. So it's like she can take the fight anywhere.
I am worried about a head kick, though. Not gonna lie.
Here's what I'm worried about is that as we said, taking advantage of a weakness. What weakness does Valentina Shevchenko really have outside of exposing her back to that spinning back kick? And Alexa Grasso helped her correct that. You know what I mean? So, Valentina Shevchenko throughout that trilogy series and again, I never thought she deserved that third fight. But I do think, in a sense, that helped her point out all the weaknesses in her game to help her then seal up all the holes, which, again, is going to make for a much boring fight. But I think at the end of the day, I just think that Valentina doesn't have any weaknesses. I don't see how Wei Li just going to come in and just bully Valentina on the ground. And I think the striking, I just think that, Valentina, that the striking against Manafiro, it just let me know that she's still got it. She's still there. She's still sharp. As annoying as it is to say, I do think that Valentina Shevchenko gets the job done here. I have not bet it just yet, but I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm glad the line is kind of staying low to where it is right now. Again, very tough fight, but again, this could also come down to a split decision. I would not be surprised, but I think Valentina gets the job done by decision.
For a fourth different pick of the evening. Is right here going to be 5, D-Rose. Is right here going to be 5.
we will see here. Now this, I know everybody was excited for Ilya and Islam, and sounds like Islam is maybe potentially teasing that it could happen at one point. But,
it's going to happen because he's going to lose this one.
Yeah, we'll get into it here, but we got Jack Della Maddalena taking on Islam Makhachev. Jack Della Maddalena coming in at 18-2, winning all of his last 5 fights and winning all of his UFC fights so far in his career. 29 years old, standing at 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. We got Islam Makhachev coming in at 27-1, winning all but one of his UFC fights, and of course all of his last 5. 34 years old, coming in at 5'10" with a 70.5-inch reach. And Islam has held pretty steady as the favorite, a pretty decent favorite all week as well. He is minus 290, and the comeback on JDM is plus 215.
That's fair, dude. Let me ask you this. Do you think Jack could be any better prepared than what he is to fight Islam?
I mean, the game could always level up.
Dude, I think JDM right now is prepared as he could possibly be. He has Craig Jones as his jiu-jitsu coach. He just beat Bilal as the champion, dude. That's as close as you're going to get to Islam. Trains in his camp. Has the same tactics. Just now boxed up
Bilal, trains with Craig Jones, so he's been fighting off the subs, man. And Jack's not a small dude. This is for sure going to be the biggest guy that Islam's fought, man. And dude, I just think Jack comes in here and it looks kind of like the Bilal fight, dude. And not only that, he has Volk in his corner has experienced 2 fights fighting Islam, dude. He like he's gonna have all these tactics, and experience as to what Islam has done, dude. I think Jack has the perfect storm to beat Islam here, dude. And if he doesn't, dude, there is no doubt in my mind Islam is the best fighter in the UFC. But I'm going to go Jack to go in here, look something like the Bilal fight, but I don't think Islam's chin is that good, dude. We've seen him be knocked out once before, his debut in the UFC by Alexandre Pantoja / Adriano Martins. No one really knows who it actually is, but dude, Jack's got this power in his hands. He's confident. He just now got that belt, dude. Give me Jack to knock out Islam in round number 3, dude. And still welterweight champion of the world.
That is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a very interesting fight, and like I said, a lot of people were disappointed with this announcement. And for me, I think it's a banger, just because I think, just where both guys are at right now, as you said, JDM has a good bit of momentum coming into this fight. He's fought all types of styles of fighters coming into this fight. And, you can say the same thing about Islam. Now, of course, he's fighting the guys down at 55 and, up at 70. It is a 15-pound jump, so it is a little bit different.
And he's only beat 145ers at 155.
Yeah, and of course, he's gonna have that held over his head. But so for me, I do think that, of course, I'm going to pick Islam. I just think it's going to be hard to bet against him when that he has that one trump card, and I think Bilal was able to get the takedowns at certain points in that fight, and JDM was able to scramble as well. I also think that, and I'm not saying that Bilal is able to give all the insights to Islam, but I think there's moments where you can go back in that fight and where JDM was getting his back up against the fence and he kept kind of like doing that little crouch and bend down to kind of help break Bilal's grip. You do not want to do that to Islam, because as soon as you bend down, he's going to take your back. And then he's going to use his sweeps. And then I just think with his control, he's so much better. Now, is he as good with the takedown as Habib? No, but I do think that in moments where Islam needs to win the round, he's able to get the job done. Like in that 4th round against Volkanovski, which I think ultimately sealed that first fight for him. As you said, that back control is the most dominant position in the sport. He was able to get that position and get the job done. And JDM is going to be exposing his back like that to try to break the grip of Islam in these grappling exchanges. I think Islam is going to eat him right up when it comes to that. I think he's going to immediately take his back against the fence, sweep him down, and then just try to get some good ground control from there, or maybe just hold back control for a good portion of time until he potentially gets a submission as well. But I do think JDM is going to be well prepared for the submissions. As you said, Craig Jones in his corner here. But I think Islam's going to be able to be smart enough to know how to steal rounds at certain points and get the job done. So give me Islam by decision here to get the job done.
Looks like we got 5 different ones, D-Rose. 5 different ones. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? All right, let me write these down so I got them this week. So obviously the main is Jack. Oh, man.
Yeah, we got the main event. JDM versus Islam.
All right, you're gonna have to hold on because I don't type that fast. And then co-main is Weili and Valentina.
Weili versus Valentina.
All right, and then what's after that?
The next fight is Michael Morales versus Sean Brady.
I'm going Brady, and you got Morales. All right, what's next?
Fight number 4 is Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint Denis.
Oh yeah, I got BSD there, and you got Benny.
I got BD.
And then And the last one is Rose and I mean not Rose. It's Aaron and
Blanchfield and
Tracy.
Tracy Cortez.
Yeah. All right, dude.
Yes.
All good ones. All good ones. So our different picks are Jack versus Islam, Whaley versus Valentina, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales, BSD versus Benny D, and Tracy Cortez versus Aaron Blanchfield. I got Jack, Whaley, Brady, BSD, and Tracy. D Rose has Islam, Valentina, Michael Morales, Benny D, and Aaron Blanchfield. Dude, we have honestly, man, I don't want my GPS on right now. We honestly, D Rose, have solid pig champ going this week. All good fighters. I'm excited for it. The only thing left is your dog of the week, man. Who's it going to be for the dog of the week?
And I put money on that dog of the week last week as well as a straight dog. I tried to parlay it as well, but Randy Brown ended up ruining it for me. But hey, we on 2 weeks in a row again. I'm trying to tell y'all gotta get on, man, because we getting these dogs of the week. For me, you teed it up earlier. Gotta be the easiest pick on the card right now for me. Who's an underdog? Chepe Mariscal. I don't care if it's just plus 106. He's still the underdog right now, and that's the whole point in this segment here, is to pick the best dog that we see. Chepe Mariscal plus 106, and he's beaten Pat Sabatini in the past as well. Gotta go. Chepe Mariscal here by decision.
Fair enough. That's D Rose's dog of the week.
I do have
I just not saw that. I do have a parlay, D Rose. Let me know what you think. Well, I know fucking one of them you're against, but it is Malcolm Wellmaker by KO plus 131, Jose Chepe Mariscal by decision at plus 280, BSD by KO at plus 134, and Carlos Prates moneyline. I put $10 on it, 317. So 4-leg Wellmaker KO, Chepe decision, BSD by KO, and Carlos Prates moneyline.
I mean, yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I was going to do a cycle bet this week and have I was going to have Chepe in there by decision. So I'm definitely that Chepe by decision. I'm all over that this week for sure.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. But lots of good fights, dude. I'm kind of hesitant to bet on a few of them, but I'm sure I'll have a few parlays cooked up. Would you like to do Change of Cheddar Friday, D Rose? If so, it's going to look something like this because I don't leave this place until Monday.
Yeah, we can go ahead. Cool. We can go ahead and do the C2C this week.
All right. So with that being said, stop by here Friday. Change of Cheddar. It's going to look like this one more time. D Rose is going to be in control, spinning the wheel Friday on Change of Cheddar. But we appreciate y'all for stopping by here, hanging out with us, getting our preview picks for this upcoming weekend's UFC 322 in MSG. But we appreciate y'all for stopping by. If y'all haven't already, hit that thumbs up button for your boys, and we will catch you guys Friday for Change of Cheddar. With that being said, we'll catch you guys later. Peace.